Hello there, it's Karina here from Bird on the Hill. How are you? Today we're going to have a look at how you apply a rub-on transfer onto your painted piece of furniture, or in this case, a piece of wall art that I've done on a ply board. I've painted it with our vintage bird furniture paint. I've got all of my tools here, a ruler, pencil, pair of scissors, and my little tools to help me rub the transfer on. Normally I would measure everything and make sure that I had everything centered. I'm lucky that this transfer actually happened to be exactly the right size for this board. So I was able to just square the corners up and stick it down, as you can see here. So gently peel the backing paper off and then apply the transfer where you want it to be. You need to make sure that you do that step really carefully, because it's not a great idea to pull it back up again, because it will semi-adhere after you've placed it down that first time. Once you've done that, you just need to get your transfer tool, the little brown stained paddle pop type stick. One of those comes in every redesign with Prima transfer. I know the other brands like IOD and that have a similar thing as well. The other thing that I'm working, the double-ended tool, is a redesign by Prima tool, which is great if you've got bigger areas that you are applying transfers to, or also if you're applying transfers to a vertical surface like the side of a cupboard. They're just a little bit more ergonomically designed and they're easier to hold. So what you're doing is just gently but firmly starting at one point, whether it be top to bottom or side to side, and just rubbing over the entire surface. There might be some areas that you need to do twice. I find that the little intricate details, like I'm doing up here at the moment, the scroll work at the top and the bottom, are a little bit trickier sometimes to get them to adhere than the bigger areas like the flowers. So it's just a matter of working your way down, or as I said before, across, depending on what naturally is easiest for you. And just continue to do that and pull the piece of transfer plastic back as you do so, whilst you've still got the tool under it on the other side. That way, if there are any areas that haven't quite adhered, it's really easy to just push them down without actually pulling them off and then having to try and reposition them onto your painted surface. So you're just working your way down, being very gentle. Depending on the surface that you are applying the transfer to, you might have to wait up to 2 or 3 days for the painted surface to dry thoroughly before you apply the transfer. You don't want it lifting the paint, and you want to make sure that your paint is cured reasonably well before you put your transfer on. So once you've done that and you've pulled your backing sheet off, you're pretty much done. It's a good idea to seal your transfer with something just to protect it. It also means that you're able to wipe over your piece of furniture or decor to keep it clean. I'm using our Bird Special Bond here because I want a nice matte finish on my little bit of wall art. If you wanted something with a little bit more of a satin or a gloss shine, you could use an Estopol or like a satin glazing, like a clear glazing medium. That would work really well as well. After you've put the bond on that I'm using here, you can actually also wax or apply like our hemp oil to further protect your piece and just give it a little bit more depth. Let that dry and you're pretty much done. You can use a little bit of very fine grade sandpaper, like a 600 grit if you wanted to just give it a little bit more of an aged appearance. Just very, very gentle rub over. Make sure it's dry and you're all finished. You've got a beautiful surface now, a beautiful design. What you can do with these is really only limited by your imagination. They work on lots of different surfaces. Have fun and happy painting.